I never imagined that David Goggins' words could change my life forever. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. The air felt heavy, I could almost taste the despair. My heartbeat thundered in my ears as I stared at the eviction notice taped to the door. It was a betrayal, a punch in the gut. My hands trembled, a lump lodged in my throat. How had I let it come to this? Every moment blurred together. My mom's fragile frame haunted me, her constant worry etched deep in her furrowed brow. She'd sacrifice anything for me, though I felt like a burden. I could hear her quiet sobs. They pierced the silence of our once happy home. I longed to fix everything, to tell her it would be okay, but the truth was, I was crumbling. And then there was Jake. My best friend since childhood. He had always been my anchor, my cheerleader, but even his bright smile felt like a distant memory now. Don't worry, we'll figure it out, he had said, the worry hidden behind his confident facade. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to escape this suffocating reality. One evening, while scrolling mindlessly through my phone, I stumbled upon a video of David Goggins. His voice boomed with raw intensity, slicing through my fog of hopelessness. Pain is just a part of the process. He shouted, his eyes fierce, as if daring anyone to challenge him. I sat up, mesmerized. Could someone really rise from the ashes of despair, just like that? His story ignited something deep within me, a flicker of hope in an otherwise dark room. The more I listened, the more I felt alive. I could visualize every word he spoke, every struggle he described. It was as if he was narrating my life. My despair morphed into a challenge. If he could conquer his demons, then maybe, just maybe, I could too. I stuffed my phone in my pocket, heart racing. Could I turn this moment into something? Could his words really drive me to change? Suddenly, the walls that had closed in on me felt slightly less suffocating. I needed to act, to fight back. But where to start? The clock ticked ominously as doubts crept back in. What if it was too late? What if I still didn't have what it takes? Would my broken pieces even fit together? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the tattered curtains, casting striped shadows across the living room floor. It felt different somehow, as if it had been touched by the very words that ignited a flicker of hope within me. My heart surged with a newfound determination. I could no longer sit back and watch everything slip away. Today would be the day I took a step toward change. That I dressed in my oldest sweatpants and a faded t-shirt, signs of my indecisiveness hanging from my shoulders. As I stared in the mirror, trying to muster confidence, I heard the familiar sound of my mother moving around in the kitchen. The clatter of pots echoed through the silence, a symphony of routine that made my heart ache. I tiptoed to the kitchen doorway and watched her, shoulders hunched, preparing breakfast as if the world hadn't come crashing down around us. "Morning, Mom," I said softly, hoping to hide the tremor in my voice. "Good morning, sweetheart," she replied, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Just making some toast. Do you want any?" I shook my head, feeling the weight of our situation settle between us. I didn't know how to comfort her, didn't know what to say. Instead, I grabbed an apple from the counter and left, the bitter taste of dread still lingering. As I stepped outside, the fresh air hit my lungs like a jolt. I needed to clear my mind, to breathe in every ounce of potential this new day had to offer. I walked aimlessly, my feet leading me to a nearby park. It was here I often played with Jake as a kid, the memories of laughter mingling with the sense of impending doom that overwhelmed me now. As I sat on a swing, I closed my eyes, envisioning David Goggins racing against his demons. I visualized him pushing through the pain, the sweat pouring as he confronted the impossible. Suddenly, a voice broke through my thoughts. "Hey, are you okay?" I opened my eyes to find a girl about my age standing before me, concern etched on her face. "You look a little lost," she said, her hair cascading in wild curls, catching the light that I took a moment to gather myself. "Just thinking," I replied, my facade cracking. She tilted her head, her expression softening. "You look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Want to talk about it?" I surprised myself at the invitation, feeling a lump rise. "I don't even know where to start," she nodded as if she understood, glancing at the swings beside me. "I felt like that not long ago. You know, things can get really messy sometimes. But believe it or not, speaking about it can actually help. My heart ached with the sheer kindness emanating from a stranger. "What did you do?" "I found a running club," she mentioned, her eyes sparkling with a sense of belonging. "Meeting new people. It feels good to not be alone in your struggles." Maybe that was it. Meeting others who felt the same would offer a glimmer of companionship in my spiraling loneliness. "I might give it a try," I replied, the thought blooming within me. Just as we were in the midst of an easy conversation, Jake emerged, his familiar grin lighting up his face. "There's my best friend," he shouted, jogging over, his presence a welcome comfort. As I introduced him to the girl, whom I learned was named Maya, I noticed the shift in energy. Jake had an infectious enthusiasm that often masked his own burdens. "We should all hang out sometime," he suggested, a spark in his eyes. "Absolutely," Maya agreed, radiating warmth. "I could use more friends." As we laughed and made plans for a future get-together, I felt a sudden surge of emotion. Maybe things were beginning to change, like roots taking hold, slowly but surely. But just as I allowed myself to feel this flicker of hope, my phone buzzed in my pocket, shattering the moment. Staring at the screen, my heart plummeted. It was a message from the landlord, a reminder of the rent due and an ominous threat of further consequences. The reality surged back in waves, like an icy tide pulling me under. "Hey, are you okay?" Jake's voice broke through my haze. I forced a smile, but I didn't want to talk about it, not now. I wanted to focus on the spark of kindness from a stranger, the joy of reconnecting with Jake. I cautiously tucked the phone back in my pocket, pretending for a second that the world outside those park gates didn't exist, but anxiety curled